안녕하세요. 조수입니다. 감사합니다. And I'm going to check out Marshmallow, which is the MiSaMo music video and track. I believe that this is the first one, like the debut track from the subunit group. And I didn't even see this coming. Like, I didn't see anything posted about this until it dropped. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, hey, there's a music video coming out tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. But one of the things, and this video, like, it's probably gonna get blocked in some areas. I know when I checked out the Hare Hare music video, that one also got blocked. I reacted to the song previously, but then I didn't see the video because it was released later. So I went back to check out the video, and it was part of a larger sort of Twice video, but the music video portion ended up getting the thing blocked, at least partially. So I had to do another cut and just take the music video out. But since that was such a recent release, and I don't know, I mean, we'll see. But I'm still thinking that this is going to be like Warner Japan. So that's why I'm thinking it might get at least a partial block on it. But what the heck, let's just do it anyway, right? But what I noticed with the, like, all this timing, right? Like, it's all in the timing, and this is very it's very good. It's very effective, right? The timing on this. When I was watching the Hare Hare music video, there's the different set pieces, and then towards the end, they're in this. I'm pretty sure it's a green screen shot, but the background is a stadium. It's an empty stadium, but it's very obviously that type of venue, and it was like it lines up with the fact that they're actually doing like a stadium tour right now and playing those types of venues. Because it's immediately what I thought about, and I was even looking at clips of the performances, the most recent ones at the time right before I watched the video, so it was like there's an obvious connection. And then the timing of this is like the group's currently on tour right now, so they're gonna drop a subunit track and video, and it's really interesting stuff as far as the marketing, that whole side of it. This approach, like I said, is quite effective. It's just like they're keeping everything really, really super interesting. This video, I've seen a couple of posts on it. The song itself has already set, it broke some kind of record in Japan already for being like one of the most popular songs, sort of like in record time. So that the relevance of Twice in general in Japan, but also like this MiSaMo subunit that they're getting in Japan is really it's incredibly significant in that market. You know what I mean? So oh man, it's getting interesting. I mean, this is a group that's like they're on top of the world right now, and I mean literally. Think about it. Like these different countries that they're branching out into at the same time. They're currently touring in the West, but they just broke a song release record in Japan, in a market on the other side of the world. This is a group that's on top of the world right now. I don't know how much further they will go. I know that they can go much further, like there's no doubt about that, but how much farther will they go? We're just gonna have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to find out. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out Marshmallow.
はい、会長。
Oh,
今出勤中です。
街角自由に一人 walk 約束もなし I don't care 寂しくない on the street no stress ふわふわこの頃気分はマシュマロ君の前じゃそれなりに嫌われないよ work done it Time goes by we they say goodbye 整理はついたよ on my side 傷跡もちょっと言えて I'm ready to fall in love again 魔法かけてみらみら Listen was fall away 夢はキラキラ信じよう Telling me so 私が私嫌いじゃ開けの move on Cause the career に笑ってたい Every day my life 一人じゃないよ明日きっと Like ding dong ding dong happy day It's sometimes a mega hot demo It will be alright Just dancing dancing in the rain なかなか直せない屈折があるじゃない真夜中食べちゃうアイスクリーム罪悪感 Please give me peace ダメとか嫌だとかPeople say that わがまま Yeah 気にしすぎて update 夢見てよ till sunrise Walk, rest, running Rest, rest, running 自分で選ぶmake it a move 決めていいよたまにご褒美も必要 Every day my life 一人じゃないよ明日きっと Ding dong ding dong happy day It's sometimes a mega food demo It will be alright Just dancing dancing in the rain It's something new 新しくてお気に入りの靴を履いて歩き出そう Find a better place Someday きっと出会えるよ無理に背伸びせずに穏やかな理想の someone Every day my life 一人じゃないよ明日きっと Ding dong ding dong happy day It's sometimes a mega hot demo It will be alright Just dancing dancing in the rain
This is you can definitely pick up like the J-pop sort of side of it, like the it's very like tailor-made for the market, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know too much of it, like of the J-pop stuff, but you can even I can tell, like, okay, I see what they're doing. One thing that's interesting to me, at least the initial listen to, is that, and I saw like a couple of things posted about this. Remember it when they released the bouquet, that OST for the drama, right? The J drama. That was, they're all singing up in their registers, some nice falsettos, some nice, higher pitch, and it was very enjoyable, very sweet, right? Like very, very sort of saccharine, and for the type of song that it was, for that type of composition, that's, obviously what they wanted. This has a much more like cooler, sort of laid back type of vibe, and they're actually sitting very low in their vocal registers. I've never quite heard Momo like that before, or Mina. Sana's, she also was singing low in her register, but I think that's a little bit more familiar. Like there's a couple of songs where I've heard her somewhere around there. I even think like Wallflower probably gets pretty close to that. So, but just the whole take on it, it's very cool. It's so conceptually, right? Like, okay, Marshmallow. This song is very much about texture. Obviously, if you're not leaning into the tone aspect, like with a song like Bouquet or whatever, when you need to have those melodic lines that are going on, and the harmonizations all need to be kind of high up, especially with the kind of mix that it was too. This, and I heard it right at the beginning too. It's almost it has this like wonky, almost like lo-fi type of bass that's going on, right? You can already hear that wobbliness to it. Like, oh, okay. Even in this sort of, in the beginning when you just get a little bit of the beat right before the actual track starts proper, and so it was like already setting up the vibe. And I was curious about this too because there are. I should have grabbed it. Oh, hold on. Not planned well enough. But there's a guitar pedal that I have, and it's called the Marshmallow, right? And what it does is it gives it these octave effects, and you can also give it that wobbly type of sound, but it takes a single pitch and expands it, right? And it gives it this. It can do several different things, but this is something that comes down to the audio engineering thing, like Marshmallow, like it's comes out of the lo-fi, type of genre, that sort of subgenre of music, but it definitely is a way of treating sound, and it's not like full on in this track because a lot of the mix is still fairly clear, but it's definitely in there, especially around things like the bass. There's a very nice. This song is like R&B, jazzy, a little bit of that lo-fi, a little bit of synth stuff in there, mostly the bass, right? But it's a nice like mix of some different elements that are put together. It's fairly minimalist, but there's some interesting sounds that are going on in here. Specifically, there is a clean electric guitar that is playing some chords. That gives it a very jazzy type of feel. That's just when I hear the specific guitar sound used for this, I think jazz. And there's some deep in the mix, like there's one part, I think it might be what we call a bridge section in this, maybe some interesting real like oscillating digital type of sound it's very much in the background. Like it's nowhere near the front. The vocal is up front, but there's a little bit of a. It's a very strange type of sound that's going on. And it's just about the texture. Like the concept for this is obviously very much based on the idea of like creating a certain texture with this sound, but it's very, very cool. It's it's just and it's a great video too. It's an interesting side, you know what I mean? This is also leaning more into the Japanese J-pop cultural, you know, like taste or style, you know what I mean? Like it's definitely in there.
はい、会長。今出勤中です。
So that was very cool, right? What you got here is this there's that wobbly wonky type of synth that is essentially acting like in the bass voice right now, and then there's a snare hit essentially as a percussive accent on the 2 and 4 synth 4, right? So 1 2, you hear that 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Nice little descending pattern that we got. It's the chords are just sort of walking down, like stepping down. And you notice in the car it had the acoustic qualities of like that type of setting of a very small with not like hard surfaces, right? And then when we transition over to this shot, it's a much bigger space, and there's obviously some different acoustics in this space, and you can hear it. You can hear a much more like crisp, like a brassy type of reverberation that's going on in this space. This space much bigger, right? Like a big, huge, like a mall setting almost, so that reverb is ramped up. Like, you know, it's like it's so much more dramatic, right, than it was in the others. And then a little bit of this diegetic sound as well, elevators and lobby sounds and stuff. Okay, look. Marshmallow department, MiSaMo, right? MSM. Okay, so look, so then Marshmallow, MiSaMo, it's a play off of these consonant letters, right? M and the S and the M. Rooftop, Marsh Company, Design Studio, Paper Office, F&B, Electronic Company, the Mallow Office, the Spa, and the first floor lobby. That's where we are right now. Okay, so Sano is obviously in the Spa. Momo, is she in the office? The Mallow office? Or the paper office? It's one of those two, right? And then, okay, let's see. So it's a quirky mix, man. Like you know, you still have that main chord progression that's descending, the bum 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 bum, but then we get this sounding like a synth plug-in of some pitch percussions, the beat bim bum beat bum, right? So let's see. I think it's
Listen 知らない街角自由に一人 walk 約束もなし I don't care
yeah, the Mallow office.
No stress ふわふわこの頃
Oh, the 808. Oh man, the 808 on this it's so big. Like it's huge. It's a huge sound, but it doesn't have it's not like it's too deep. It's really interesting. it's super interesting the way that they have like EQ'd that and everything, because it's massive. It's spans left and right. The mix, of course, is this syncopation, the syncopated patterns. So where you have that main progression that's pretty much falling on the first beat of everything. That pitch percussion sound is playing a little like between the 8th note and the 16th note. Sometimes it comes in on the and. Sometimes it comes in on like the first 16th note, the 1e and the 2e, and so it's like 1e, 2e, right? And sometimes it's just playing on the actual upbeat on the and then the other parts in the mix, you have different sort of patterns that are going on. The progression then is really being driven by that main sort of descending line that you hear, but the vocal delivery right away, right? Like this is it's really cool. I've never heard Momo. Usually when Momo performs, at least with Twice, she has that. It's very throaty, right? It's a very narrow, like space that the voice is being pushed through, right? Like, and that's why as it gets a little bit nasally, like it's sort of the back, like not up here, but the way back here, this from the throat up to the back of the nasal cavity, kind of. So she gets that that sound that she has, right? That it sounds good when she does it because it's Momo, but this is different. The palette is much more relaxed. Like she's getting it's a much wider sound than I'm used to hearing come out of Momo for sure.
Listen 知らない街角自由に一人 walk 約束もなし I don't care 寂しくない on the street no stress ふわふわこの頃気分は Mashmallow 君の前じゃそれなりに嫌われないよ
Oh, now we have that snare hit real snappy on the 2 and the 4 boom ta boom ta, and it's such a laid back beat. It's so like it's definitely a vibe. Like it's almost a little bit refreshing. You know what I mean? It's got that feel to it. It matches the concept so well, and the lyric too. It's such a good job.
Time goes by with you say goodbye. Say you were on my side. I'm ready to fall in love again. Hope かけてみらみら Listen was fall away. 夢はキラキラ信じよ telling me so. 私が私嫌いじゃ
It's just really fun rhythms that Momo is using there. She's leaning into her rap, style. Her even in Twice, she's one of the rappers, you know what I mean? Like so you got Chaeyoung, and you got Dubu, and then you got Momo, right? They're that group that will do those parts. Of course, the others can too, but here you really see Momo like bringing it out, like showing it off a little bit. It's fun. She's got really great, really fast groups there, like little triplet groups. Going like you'll get the first beat, we'll have a triplet group, a real tight one, and then you might get 8th notes or 16th notes in between, and it's really fun. Like it's super fun. There's a little bit of swing to it. Okay, so right now in the mix just got really full, right? Because we're moving into the chorus section, and hold on, let me see. So there's something that has a very, very fast oscillation on it, and it kind of floats around between the left and the right. I was trying to, at first I heard it was a little bit more in the right, but but by the end I was hearing it more in the left. But it's a very fast, and I think it's actually moving it's on a triplet, because it's like but the sound is like it's really super fast, kind of imitating the rhythm that Momo was using there, that tight triplet group that she was using. And it's a crazy delay effect, and it's got such a tight interval on it. It's super fast. And this is like later on, the mix kind of does it a little bit differently, where most of the other stuff, those very high pitches that you hear, I think that's more of that sort of chimey synth plug-in sound. Those are the very bright hits that you hear, but they don't have this oscillation effect on it. It's slightly underneath that, but it's super fast. Later on, it'll be much more prominent around like the bridge, what we might call the bridge section. There it is. Yeah, it's floating back and forth between left and right. Lots of diegetic sound. There you hear it. Oh, the guitar. It's so good. It's okay, so it's following that like what the main chord progression is doing, right? Because it's playing along with the chords. That synthy sound that does have a little bit of that oscillation on it, that it's getting a little bit wobbly, but they're super clean and soft guitar chords that sit right on top of it. That's that bum 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 bum. So we're just talking eighth notes, right? That's 1, 2, and 3, something like that. Maybe it's 1 and 2. But it's just an eighth note subdivision. It's not even any more complicated than that. But it's just a combination of those sounds. The guitar sound is really nice. It's super jazzy, but it's so clean. And then the the wobbly wonkiness of that synth that's carrying the progression underneath it. It's just like, it's so, I don't know, to my ear, like, this is the marshmallowy fluffiness of it all, like that clean, very sort of like soft guitar sound, right? And it's paired up so well with that the wobbliness, that it does a weird thing with the sustain. Like, because the guitar on it, since it's such a clean sound, it doesn't have much sustain on it. It's got, what you would expect, but it's not as if they're ramping it up or anything. But you have the chord sound of that being played by the guitar, and underneath it is this wobbling. It's kind of like pulling it a little. It's so weird. Like it's kind of sticky. It's kind of but still very clean. It's so interesting, man. It's such an interesting texture. Walk, rest, running. Rest, running. You hear that little quirky synth? That's playing upbeats. That's falling on the and. It's a cool mix, dude. It's a cool mix. Like this is really, really awesome. There's so many sounds in this, and they're all hidden everywhere. Like, this is only the second time that I'm listening to it, and I'm trying to really keep track of everything. But there's little sounds that just pop up, and I'm like, what in the world is that? Like, it's really fun. It's really interesting. This is a super interesting song.
歩き出そう Find a better place Someday きっと出会えるよ無理にせ
You hear that? And it's moving back and forth. It's like it starts in the right and goes, and then it's on the left and it goes, it's such a crazy space, man. It's just bouncing all over the place. For as laid back as this song is, it's incredibly busy. It's laid back. It tends to lean into a little bit of a minimalist structure, especially in the beginnings, intro, verse. But when this song really gets going, there's like so many things that are going on, and it just never. It's constantly changing. It's constantly doing something different. It's so it's kind of sneaky, you know what I mean? Because it has such a laid back groove that it's so fun to just follow it. It's so fun to just not even worry about any of these other things that are popping up. But there's so many things that are just left and right, and it's all over the place, high and low. All these interesting sounds that are going on. It's quite an impressive work here as production wise, and then underneath that, the composition element. Very, very smart use of syncopated patterns throughout the mix. It's really enjoyable. Yeah, that's no wonder. You can listen to this over and over again, man. You can listen to this like all day long. There's so much going on, but it's all in such a soft, interesting, like relaxed, that fluffiness, that wobbliness, that, you know what I mean? It just, you can just like let go a little bit here. You can just like, and it very much has that vibe and the concept and everything. It's kind of inviting you to just like not really worry too much about it. And the song plays to that very, very appropriately. It's very smartly done. It's very cool, man. So just the difference in the vocal registers, the sounds that we're getting here are just like Mina. My goodness, dude, Mina, when she's singing down in her in the low end of her register, that's incredible, man. Because of Twice work, I'm very used to her coming out with some sort of gorgeous flowy melody, something that sits high above the harmonization and whatever else is going on. MiSaMo, of course, she can do that as well, and Momo always has that. She's very unique. Momo's vocal work is actually like extremely unique. I don't, even now, I don't hear many voices that sound like hers, and she's totally doing something else with it here that works like super well. It's awesome, dude. It's a whole, man. It's kind of like mind blowing, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, this other side, this flip side, this completely different delivery that just feels like I've never heard this before. But I've heard them before, but I've never heard this before. And the mix itself is super interesting. You can listen. You can listen to this over and over again all day long, and every single time that you listen to it, you're gonna hear something that you didn't catch, like the last time that you heard it, like 4 minutes earlier or whatever. It's like what I didn't catch that last time I heard it. There's always something interesting that's popping up, but it has such wonderful continuity and keeps that vibe going, that just pulls you in, and like it totally is relaxing. It's super mellow, like it's super relaxing. You know what I mean? For as busy as it is, and I'm like, it's very like I'm trying to follow all these things, but I don't want to. I just want to like go with it. I just want to like relax and enjoy this vibe that I'm find myself surrounded by, right? And it is like that. It is marshmallowy like that. Like you're sinking into a big fluffy mattress or cushion that feels like it's so soft that you sink into it completely until you're like here, and everything sounds kind of like muffled and wobbly, but it's really soft and really cool, and really like you just like let go, you just relax, you just forget about it. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about anything right now at all. It's totally got this wonderful vibe to it. So I can see why it's already managed to set a record, especially in that market, because this is it's a brilliant song, really. It's just really, really brilliant stuff. And there's a whole album. Like, if this is the first taste that we're getting of this album, this marshmallowy, wonky type of extremely relaxed, flavor, right? Like, the rest of his album is gonna be, it's gonna be like a whole new level, dude. This is, oh man, I there are certain things like Twice is such a big group, and there's so many members of it, and having all of those different elements and all of just different talents, it allows them to do a whole lot of stuff. But with a subunit group like this, it's kind of like they can choose to pick a certain direction and maybe go a little bit farther with it, right? Because it allows them to, like they have so much more time and so much more space. So you're gonna see some really interesting concepts and some really, stylistically, they're going to do this. Like this is kind of what I'm speculating or predicting about the album based off this. You're gonna get a lot of these really, really awesome songs. They're awesome, and they're gonna branch out into these different areas without any resistance, without any constraint, without it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be so easy for them to do this. So this album is going to be, it's definitely gonna chop the top, not chop the tarts. It might do that, but it's definitely gonna top the charts in Japan. Don't be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, don't be surprised if you see this album, on the top of many different charts all around. I like, be ready for that, because I absolutely think that that's what's coming based off of this. This is fantastic. This it's so much smarter. It's so clever. It's so like competently done, production wise, performance wise, everything is just perfect. um I'm blown away. I'm blown away. This is gonna make the tour crazier. Like, people are gonna be like super hyped. um uh, like, they're gonna be going nuts. They're gonna be going nuts. People are legitimately just gonna go insane for Mina, Sana, and Momo now. Most people already were, but you're gonna like see and hear more, like buzz about that for sure. uh MiSaMo, Marshmallow. This is probably like one of the best debuts for what you would consider, like it's a subunit group, but okay, in and of itself, right? For this as a group, this is probably one of the best debuts of all time. Or that first release, right? Like that first track that you're getting from the group. And this album is going to be like gangbusters. It's going to go just astronomical. It's going to it's going to blow up, dude. It's going to be fractal. Like this subunit group, they're going to be a massive happening. Like, it's going to be huge. You can already feel it. It already is. You can already feel it. But this is going to blow them away. This album, this masterpiece album that that the group is going to drop, this is going to blow them away. This is, yeah, it's like it's not even going to be close.